And around the age of 5, we had to move back to the village.
Yeah.
So in the village, I grew up all my adulthood in the village.
Mm.
Like I spent like 10 years.
Wow.
Without knowing what a switch is.
Whoa.
A bulb. So we see bulbs only in generators when someone, like the well-to-do people in the village, when they come back from town, they turn on their generators and they show film. We gather there.
Wow.
Yes. I didn't know, like for real, I didn't know what was a switch. It was when one I think it was Fenasco Games, we went down to Womb and I entered the house. And I saw someone tap, and there was a switch. I was like, wow.
That's a miracle.
That's a miracle. It was crazy, bro, for real. But
wow, that's crazy, though.
When I think about that, I'm like, life do evolve. There are a lot of things that people don't know. Yes. Like, when I was in the village, I didn't know that there was something like Pentecostal and Catholic and Presbyterian. I knew that Christianity is all about Catholic and Presbyterian.
Wow.
I didn't know. But my first time of knowing about Pentecostal was when the Full Gospel Mission came to preach in my village.
Yeah.
And we went there because they brought something magical, like these projectors. They projected the Jesus film.
Oh.
That was my first time. So it was epic. So
wow.
That was when I started to get acquainted with some certain things, because I actually joined them. Like, not because I want to be in Christ, but just because I want to experience what they were doing.
Yo, wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I didn't know. Back home, a lot of things that I didn't know. All this will be funny because you know, the graduation ceremony when you graduate from primary school, and you have to go to Form 1.
Yeah.
You know, when parents gather and they say you should say what you want to become in the future. Do you know what I said?
What did you say?
I said I wanted to become a carpenter.
But that's not bad, though.
No. You don't understand. Someone saying they want to become a carpenter when they don't even know what what carpentry is. It can tell you that they didn't even know what they were saying. Yep.
Wow.
So that was the kind of life I was, because I was someone that was just anyhow. I do anything I want. I can go anywhere I want. There's nobody that will tell you that don't do this, don't do this. No.
So you just try and see.
That's it. Try and see.
Yeah. And when you hit something and you realize, bro, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
You learn from it.
I have a very rough childhood. Like, I had a spring on this leg. And I had an accident where a stick went into my hand.
Whoa.
Yeah. So because I was very rough, really, really rough. People that grew up with me can tell you that I was really rough. Like, we used to play some very rough games. Like, I have my cousin here. He's also here in America. We used to play this game. You know, when he goats are fighting, they hit them together. Yeah, that's what we were doing.
That's crazy, man. That's so rough, bro.
That's what we used to do. That's how we used to, like, show ourselves that this person is stronger than you. And bro, he's strong. I can't lie. He's strong.
Wow.
We hit ourselves together. Yeah.
Yeah. So you live in the village for a while, and you left the village to what part of it?
Okay. When I had my O levels, I think it was 2009. Yeah. Yeah. I had my O levels. I passed away though. I was doing all that, but at least I was intelligent.
Still in the village.
Yes. I had my O levels. My dad took us, because I had my O levels together with my elder brother. My dad took us to Bafoussam. That's where life became so interesting. I went to Bafoussam. My dad rented a 2-room house, like 1 room and a parlor. Yeah, that was it. No mattress, nothing to cook, nothing for us to use to cook. It was just an empty room. Wow. Yes. And he left. That was it. So we had to figure out what to do. Like, that's one thing when I talk, I always thank my father for, because it was that moment that I discovered that you have to fend for yourself. Yeah. Because in the village, everything is available. You don't really need to look for much. Everything is available. There's food everywhere. But when you find yourself in a city you have never been, everybody speaks French and you speak English.
Oh wow, Bafusam, yeah, that's true.
That's where you know that no, here is a different zone. We had like 2 buckets of corn, gari, all those things, and we didn't cook anything. We had to fry them.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was what we were surviving for a time before I met one of these, my distant uncle. He used to sell shirts. That's the person that introduced me to selling shirts, like t-shirts, shirts, all those things. That time I was in high school. My father left like that. It was after 2 years that he actually remembered that there were people in Bafusam.
Whoa!
So we continued living like that, and when I started selling, my elder brother saw it that it was giving me money. He joined.
He joined the business.
So by that time, I was already good because I went to school. I created acquaintances. We used to buy phones. This techno. We'll buy them and we resell them. Like I'll buy it from these rich kids, and I'll come back now and sell them to these street guys. Maybe someone needs a phone and we'll sell it for 1,000, 2,000, and maybe I'll make 800, 1,000. That's how I started, and I became so good in phones that everybody in the whole school knew that I was selling phones. If you need any phone, I got it. I got it.
Really?
That's when my popularity in the university, in this Lycée Bilen de Bafusam. If you go to Lycée Bilen de Bafusam and ask the Punisher, I think people that were there at that time will know. Yeah,
wow,
they will know.
That's great. So you started doing that business. I remember before we started recording the episode, you were talking about some of the rough side.
Yeah, the rough side actually started in the village because we were a little bit well-to-do in the village, like one of the well-to-do families, because we had a lot of houses. My uncle was rich, so he has a lot of houses everywhere. So, and our houses were, most government officials come and they live there. So we had one house just close to our compound. There was a gendarmerie officer that was living there. So they used to seize these drugs and store it there. So by the time he was being transferred, we had to pack those things, and we packed them, but he didn't pack all of those things. So I and my friend, we discovered weed. We discovered weed there. So we were like, okay, we've heard about this. Let's try it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Facts. That's when I started smoking weed. I started smoking weed that time.
How old were you at the time?
That time, I can say from 4, I was like 18 or 19. Or 18, 19, 20. I think that was from 4. That year, I remember that year I actually repeated from 4 because of that. Because that thing got me. It got me in a state where there was a day, but this was after I had left the village and I come back. Because anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So when I started smoking, we left the village and we went to Bafusam. Bafusam was part of actually part of the time I started selling weed. Like I had friends from Banso that used to sell sha. So everywhere where they say that sha, we have our extra somewhere behind.
Yes.
Where we go and sit and we chill.
Wow.
So there I was selling weed. I'll buy weed and I sell. And that was right in the prostitute area. If you know Bafusam very well, there's somewhere that's called Obesh.
Yeah, I've heard about Obesh.
Yes, Obesh. That is where every prostitute is. So I mingled with prostitute day and not day and night. That is each day.